Agricultural engineering has produced thousands of tractors over the decades, but some machines defy logic, challenge expectations, and look so strange you'd swear they were fabricated for science fiction movies. Today, we're counting down the 15 strangest tractors you won't believe actually exist. Machines that pushed boundaries, violated conventions, and proved that farming equipment can be as bizarre as it is functional, from screw-propelled snow machines to tractors with rotating cabs. These aren't your typical John Deeres and international harvesters. These are the mavericks, the experiments, and the genuinely weird machines that prove agricultural innovation has always had room for the extraordinary. Number 15. Fordson Snow Motor. The Fordson snow motor from the 1920s looked like something from Jules Verne's imagination, rather than Henry Ford's production lines. Ford engineers took a standard Fordson tractor and replaced the rear wheels with enormous screw-shaped cylinders that propelled the machine through snow and mud by rotating like giant corkscrews. The concept seemed absurd, rather than conventional wheels or tracks, but the snow motor churned through deep snow and thick mud with effectiveness that shocked skeptics. The four-cylinder gasoline engine produced around 20 horsepower, the same output as standard Fordsons. But instead of turning wheels, that power rotated massive screw cylinders, measuring several feet in diameter. The screws bit into soft surfaces and pulled the snow motor forward through material that would stop conventional tractors cold. The rotating action created a swimming or boring motion that moved the machine through conditions where wheeled or even tracked vehicles became helplessly stuck. Ford marketed the snow motor primarily for logging operations in northern forests, where deep snow made conventional transportation impossible during winter months. The machine could haul loads through snow that would strand trucks or horses, opening up winter logging when traditional operations shut down. The snow motor also found use in swampy areas, where the screw's large surface area distributed weight effectively, allowing work in bogs and marshes that conventional equipment couldn't access. The snow motor's appearance was genuinely bizarre. The massive screw cylinders rotating behind a conventional Fordson front end looked like engineering madness. The screws threw snow and mud dramatically as they rotated, creating spectacular rooster tails of material. The noise was distinctive. The screws churning through material created sounds unlike anything else in agricultural equipment. Everything about the snow motor seemed strange until you watched it work through conditions that stopped everything else. Ford built relatively few snow motors because the applications were so specialized. Most farmers worked on solid ground where conventional tractors were more practical. Today, surviving snow motors are extremely rare and highly collectible, representing Ford's willingness to pursue unconventional engineering when applications demanded it. The snow motor proved that sometimes the strangest solutions are the most effective. Number 14. Rumely oil pull. The Rumely oil pull from 1909 through 1930 became legendary for its strange appearance and distinctive exhaust sound. While competitors used conventional water-cooled engines, Rumely developed oil cooling that required massive external cooling towers that made the oil pull look like industrial equipment rather than agricultural machinery. The cooling towers stood tall above the engine, giving the oil pull a distinctive profile that was instantly recognizable and undeniably odd. The kerosene-powered engines produced between 20 and 40 horsepower, depending on model, delivered through motors that used oil for both cooling and lubrication. The system circulated oil through the engine block to absorb heat, then pumped it through massive external cooling towers where it released heat to atmosphere before returning to the engine. The towers featured internal baffles that increased surface area and improved cooling efficiency. The entire system seemed unnecessarily complicated compared to simple water cooling, but it provided crucial advantages. The oil pull's exhaust sound was distinctive and strange, a deep, rhythmic thumping that sounded more like a steam engine than an internal combustion motor. The low RPM operation and massive displacement created exhaust pulses that were felt as much as heard. Farmers could identify an oil pull working from miles away just by its unique sound signature. The slow-turning engines produced that characteristic thump, thump, thump that became the oil pull's auditory trademark. The oil pull's appearance was industrial and utilitarian. The massive cooling towers dominated the profile, and the robust construction made it look more suited for factory duty than field work. Everything about the oil pull looked strange compared to conventional tractors, but farmers who actually used them discovered advantages that outweighed the oddness. The oil cooling system never froze in winter. The higher operating temperature meant more efficient combustion, and the oil lubricated while cooling. Rumely built oil pulls for over 2 decades, and they gradually earned respect as rugged, economical equipment. Today, oil pulls are among the most collectible antique tractors because their unusual engineering and distinctive appearance make them genuinely unique pieces of agricultural history. Number 13. Thieman tractor. The Thieman tractor from the 1930s represented one of agricultural history's strangest concepts, a tractor sold as a kit for farmers to assemble themselves. While most manufacturers built complete tractors in factories, Thieman believed farmers could save money by doing final assembly. The company supplied a frame, transmission, rear end, and detailed instructions. Farmers provided their own Ford Model A engines and completed assembly in their own workshops. The Ford Model A engine provided around 40 horsepower when farmers mounted it in the Thieman frame. The Model A was readily available, relatively inexpensive, and familiar to most farmers who'd worked on Model A cars. Thieman designed the frame to accept the engine easily and provided detailed instructions showing exactly how to mount it and connect all systems. The transmission and rear end came pre-assembled, so farmers mainly needed to mount the engine, connect systems, add wheels, and perform final adjustments. The Thieman's appearance varied dramatically, depending on how individual farmers completed assembly. Some built minimal utilitarian machines focused purely on function. Others added operator platforms, fenders, and bodywork that made their Thiemans look more finished. No two Thiemans looked identical because farmers had freedom to customize during assembly. This variety made Thiemans visually distinctive. You could usually identify a Thieman by its home-built character and unique details reflecting individual builders' preferences and skills. The kit concept appealed to farmers during the Depression who needed tractors but couldn't afford factory-built equipment. The Thieman cost significantly less than complete tractors, and farmers appreciated the opportunity to build their own equipment. The assembly process also meant farmers thoroughly understood their tractors because they'd built them, making maintenance and repairs straightforward. Thieman sold relatively few kits because the Depression limited all tractor sales, and most farmers preferred factory-built equipment when they could afford it. Today, surviving Thiemans are extremely rare because few were built and many got scrapped when they wore out. Finding a genuine Thieman means discovering a strange piece of Depression-era ingenuity when farmers were willing to build their own tractors. Number 12. Cletrac Model F. The Cletrac Model F from 1919 looked genuinely strange to farmers accustomed to wheeled tractors. This compact crawler tractor featured continuous tracks instead of wheels, creating a squat, tank-like appearance that seemed more military than agricultural. Cleveland Tractor Company, Cletrac for short, believed crawlers provided superior traction and flotation, but convincing farmers to accept such radically different machines required extensive demonstrations. The four-cylinder gasoline engine produced 15 horsepower, modest power that the tracks made remarkably effective. The continuous tracks distributed weight over large surface area, reducing ground pressure and preventing the Model F from sinking in soft soil. The tracks also provided superior traction compared to steel wheels, allowing the Model F to work effectively in conditions that would stop wheeled tractors. The Model F was compact and maneuverable, despite using tracks. Cletrac designed the crawler system for agricultural work rather than military applications, creating tracks that could turn tightly and navigate orchard rows or terraced hillsides. The controls were straightforward. Levers operated clutches for each track, allowing the operator to steer by slowing or stopping individual sides. The system worked effectively once operators learned it. The Model F's appearance was undeniably odd. The squat profile, continuous tracks, and lack of conventional wheels made it look like military equipment rather than farming machinery. The tracks clattered and clanked as the Model F moved, creating distinctive sounds unlike wheeled tractors. Everything about the Model F seemed strange to farmers expecting conventional equipment. Cletrac built the Model F in modest numbers because crawler tractors remained niche products for specialized applications. But the Model F established crawlers as viable agricultural equipment. Today, Model Fs are collectible because they represent early crawler development and because their strange appearance makes them distinctive among vintage tractors. Number 11. Lanz Bulldog. The Lanz Bulldog from Germany, built between 1921 and 1955, was genuinely one of the strangest tractors ever created. The single-cylinder hot-bulb diesel engine was unlike anything built by American manufacturers. One enormous piston, massive displacement, an extremely low RPM operation that created distinctive sounds and personality. The Bulldog looked strange, sounded stranger, and operated in ways that seemed impossibly crude. The single-cylinder engine produced around 45 horsepower from displacement, measured in liters rather than cubic inches. The massive piston rose and fell slowly, around 600 to 700 RPM at operating speed, creating a distinctive slow heartbeat rhythm. The hot bulb ignition system used a preheated chamber rather than conventional injection, requiring the operator to heat the bulb with a blowtorch before starting. The Bulldog's exhaust sound was legendary, a deep, slow boom, boom, boom that could be heard for miles. Each exhaust stroke created a distinctive explosion that gave the Bulldog its name. The tractor literally sounded like a bulldog's bark, amplified to mechanical proportions. The single-cylinder engine also produced substantial vibration that shook the entire tractor with each power stroke. The Bulldog's appearance was industrial and utilitarian. The massive engine dominated the design, and the robust construction made it look more like industrial machinery than refined agricultural equipment. The Bulldog was tall, narrow, and ungainly compared to sleek American tractors. Everything about it seemed crude and outdated even when new. Lanz built hundreds of thousands of Bulldogs over 3 decades, making them common throughout Europe. The strange single-cylinder design that seemed impossibly crude actually worked brilliantly for European conditions. Today, Bulldogs are cult classics among European collectors who appreciate their distinctive personality. Number 10. International Harvester HT340. The International Harvester HT340 from 1961 represented one of the strangest experiments in tractor history, replacing the conventional piston engine with a gas turbine. IH believed turbines offered advantages including lighter weight, fewer moving parts, and potential for higher power from smaller packages. The HT340's futuristic styling matched its advanced propulsion, creating a tractor that looked like science fiction. The gas turbine produced around 85 horsepower, adequate power delivered through a propulsion system that seemed more appropriate for jet aircraft than tractors. The turbine spun at extremely high RPM, tens of thousands rather than the few thousand RPM conventional engines used, requiring complex gearing to reduce speed for useful work. The turbine ran smoothly without the vibration piston engines produced. The HT340's appearance was startlingly futuristic. The streamlined bodywork enclosed the turbine and mechanical systems, creating smooth, space-age styling unlike any contemporary tractor. The air intake and exhaust systems required special ducting that gave the HT340 a distinctive profile. Everything about the machine looked advanced and strange, more concept car than working tractor. The turbine's disadvantages became obvious during testing. Fuel consumption was horrendous. Turbines are inefficient at the varying loads and speeds agricultural work requires. The high operating temperatures created maintenance challenges. The complex gearing required to reduce turbine speed added weight and complexity. The initial cost was astronomical. Foreign object damage from dust and debris could destroy the turbine instantly. IH built only 1 or 2 HT340 prototypes before abandoning the concept. The turbine tractor made impressive press releases, but terrible farming equipment. Today, the surviving HT340 is a museum piece representing IH's ambitious but misguided attempt to revolutionize tractor propulsion. Number 9. Case 150 Steam Traction Engine. The Case 150 steam traction engine from 1876 was strange not through unconventional design, but through sheer overwhelming size. This massive steam-powered machine produced 150 horsepower when most farms still used horses. The towering boiler, enormous drive wheels, and locomotive-like proportions made the 150 look absurdly oversized for agricultural work. The steam engine used a massive boiler feeding a multi-cylinder steam motor that produced staggering power for 1876. The boiler stood taller than a person, and the entire machine weighed many tons. The drive wheels were enormous to handle the power and weight. Operating the 150 required skills more appropriate for railroads than farms. The 150's appearance was genuinely strange because of its scale. It looked more like a small locomotive than agricultural equipment. The towering boiler dominated the profile, and the massive wheels dwarfed the operator. Clouds of steam and smoke surrounded the machine during operation, adding to its impressive but strange presence. Case built the 150 for specialized applications like powering sawmills and moving extremely heavy loads rather than conventional farming. The machine proved steam power could scale to meet any demand, but it was too large, too expensive, and too complex for normal agricultural work. Only one survives today, testament to how impractical such extreme machines were. The surviving 150 is a museum treasure representing steam power at its most extreme. The machine is strange not through unconventional design, but through scale that exceeded any practical agricultural need. Case built the future 70 years before agriculture required such power. Number 8. Massey Ferguson, 97. The Massey Ferguson 97 from the 1960s was strange primarily because it was so rare compared to mainstream MF models. This massive articulated tractor featured a GM Detroit diesel engine producing 141 horsepower, substantial power delivered through an articulated chassis that was uncommon for Massey Ferguson. The company typically focused on conventional tractors, making the 97 an oddity in their lineup. The Detroit diesel engine delivered smooth, powerful performance with a distinctive sound two-stroke Detroit motors produced. A high-pitched whine mixed with diesel clatter that was instantly recognizable. The articulated chassis provided excellent traction and maneuverability despite the machine's size. Massey Ferguson engineered the 97 for large-scale operations needing substantial power. The 97's appearance was purposeful, but unusual for Massey Ferguson. The articulated design, large size, and powerful engine seemed more appropriate for brands like Steiger or Versatile that specialized in large tractors. Seeing Massey Ferguson's familiar red and silver paint on such a large articulated machine looked wrong to farmers accustomed to MF's conventional tractors. Massey Ferguson built relatively few 97s because the company's strength was conventional tractors rather than large articulated machines. The 97th competed against specialists who understood large tractor markets better. Sales remained modest and production ended quickly. Today, 97s are rare because few were built and most got worked hard until they wore out. Finding a surviving 97 means discovering a strange piece of Massey Ferguson history when the company briefly competed in markets outside its expertise. Number 7. Zetor Crystal, 8011. The Zetor Crystal 8011 from Czechoslovakia in 1968 looked genuinely strange, with its boxy, futuristic styling that seemed decades ahead of contemporary tractors. While Western manufacturers built tractors with rounded, conventional styling, Zetor created the Crystal, with angular sheet metal and flat surfaces that looked more science fiction than agriculture. The four-cylinder diesel engine produced 80 horsepower, adequate power delivered through conventional mechanical systems wrapped in unconventional bodywork. Zetor engineered the Crystal competently, with reliable components and straightforward operation. The strange aspect was purely visual. The Crystal worked like conventional tractors, but looked completely different. The Crystal's cab design was particularly distinctive. The angular glass and flat roof created a greenhouse-like operator station that provided excellent visibility, but looked strange compared to rounded Western cabs. The instrumentation and controls were logically arranged and functional, but the overall aesthetic seemed alien to anyone accustomed to John Deere or International Harvester styling. Zetor built the Crystal primarily for Eastern European markets, where the distinctive styling was accepted and even appreciated. The tractor worked effectively despite its strange appearance, proving that unconventional styling didn't compromise functionality. The Crystal's strange looks became its defining characteristic. Today, Crystals are cult classics among Eastern European collectors who appreciate their unique styling and historical significance. The strange boxy appearance that seemed odd in 1968 now looks retro-futuristic, giving Crystals distinctive character that conventional tractors lack. Number 6. Oliver II Plus 2 Series. The Oliver II Plus 2 Series from the 1970s was genuinely one of the strangest looking tractors ever built. The articulated design featured a bent configuration that looked wrong compared to conventional tractors. The cab was positioned strangely, the articulation point was visible and prominent, and the entire proportions seemed awkward and unbalanced. The six-cylinder diesel engine produced between 150 and 180 horsepower, substantial power delivered through a chassis that confused everyone who looked at it. The articulation point positioned the cab differently than conventional tractors, creating an appearance that violated farmers' expectations about proper tractor proportions. The cab position created visibility and ride quality issues that compounded the strange appearance. Operators sat over the articulation point where frame flex transmitted directly to the cab, creating a rough, uncomfortable ride. The strange positioning also created blind spots and made backing up difficult. Everything about operating the 2+2 felt wrong to farmers accustomed to conventional tractors. Oliver marketed the 2+2 aggressively, but farmers rejected the strange design despite its technical capabilities. The bent appearance simply looked wrong, and the awkward handling confirmed farmers' visual impressions. Sales disappointed despite Oliver's substantial investment. Today, 2+2 tractors are relatively rare, because Oliver built limited numbers before abandoning the concept. Surviving examples are collectible precisely because they're so strange. They represent Oliver's ambitious but misguided attempt to revolutionize tractor design. Number 5. Schlüter Supertrac 2500 VL. The Schlüter Supertrac 2500 VL from 1970s. Germany was one of the strangest tractors most American farmers never saw. This massive German-built machine featured a 12-cylinder diesel engine producing 250 horsepower. Enormous power for the era, delivered through a chassis with proportions that looked genuinely odd. The oversized cab dominated the design, and the unusual styling made the Supertrac look more like construction equipment than agricultural machinery. The 12-cylinder engine was genuinely unusual for tractors. Most manufacturers used 4 or 6-cylinder motors, but Schlüter believed 12 cylinders would provide smoother power delivery and better reliability through redundancy. The engine produced strong power across a wide operating range, and the smooth operation impressed those who experienced it. But the complexity and cost made 12-cylinder engines impractical for most agricultural applications. The Supertrac's cab was enormous compared to contemporary tractors. Schlüter designed the operator station with automotive-level comfort and features, creating a cab that looked disproportionately large on the tractor's frame. The styling was angular and distinctive, with German design sensibilities that seemed strange to farmers, accustomed to American or British aesthetics. Everything about the Supertrac's appearance challenged expectations. Schlüter built the Supertrac in very limited numbers for specialized German agricultural operations. The company targeted large farms needing substantial power and willing to pay premium prices for advanced features. But the market for such specialized equipment was tiny, and Schlüter never achieved significant sales volume. The Supertrac remained a rare German giant that few outside Central Europe ever saw. Today, Supertracs are extremely rare and highly collectible among European enthusiasts who appreciate their unusual engineering and distinctive styling. The strange appearance and 12-cylinder engine make them genuinely unique among agricultural equipment. The Supertrac proved that German engineering could produce tractors as unusual as their automobiles. Number 4. Fiat 5060D Tea Orchard Tractor. The Fiat 5060D Tea Orchard Tractor from 1970s Italy looked genuinely strange, with its ultra-low profile designed specifically for working under low-hanging tree branches in orchards and vineyards. While conventional tractors featured upright designs, the Fiat Orchard Tractor was dramatically lowered and flattened, creating proportions that looked bizarre compared to normal agricultural equipment. The 4-cylinder diesel engine produced around 50 horsepower, adequate power, packaged in an extraordinarily compact envelope. Fiat engineered every component to minimize height, creating a tractor that could work beneath branches that would strike conventional machines. The engine was mounted low, the exhaust system was carefully routed to avoid vertical protrusions, and every element was designed to minimize the overall profile. The Fiat's appearance was startlingly strange. The extremely low profile made it look squashed or compressed, as if a normal tractor had been flattened by enormous weight. The operator sat in a lowered position with minimal overhead clearance, creating a cramped but functional workspace. The tires were specially sized to maintain low overall height, while providing adequate traction and flotation. The Fiat Orchard Tractor worked brilliantly for its intended application. Orchard and vineyard operators could work beneath branches that would damage conventional tractors, allowing mechanized cultivation and spraying in operations that otherwise required hand labor. The specialized design solved genuine problems for fruit and wine producers who needed mechanization without sacrificing their valuable trees and vines. Fiat built orchard tractors in modest numbers for specialized markets, primarily in Italy and other Mediterranean countries, where fruit and wine production dominated agriculture. The strange appearance limited appeal outside those specific applications. Today, surviving Fiat orchard tractors are rare and collectible, representing Italian engineering applied to very specialized agricultural needs. Number 3. Big Bud 16 747. The Big Bud 16.5 747 from 1977 is strange through sheer overwhelming size. This massive machine stands as the largest farm tractor ever built, powered by a 16-cylinder Detroit diesel engine, producing between 1,100 and 1,350 horsepower. The proportions are absurd. The tires alone stand taller than a person, and the entire machine weighs over 100,000 pounds. The 16-cylinder engine is a monster, a massive V-configuration Detroit diesel that produces sounds and power on scales most farmers never experience. The engine alone weighs thousands of pounds and displaces over 1,000 cubic inches. The fuel consumption is measured in gallons per hour, rather than miles per gallon. Everything about the Big Bud's propulsion system is excessive, but the massive power allows covering enormous acreage quickly. The Big Bud's appearance is genuinely shocking. The sheer size makes it look fake or exaggerated, like something from a cartoon rather than real equipment. The massive tires, enormous articulated frame, and towering operator cab create proportions that seem impossible. Seeing the Big Bud in person is shocking because photographs cannot capture how overwhelmingly large it actually is. The Big Bud was custom-built for large-scale farming operations, needing to cover thousands of acres as quickly as possible. The machine worked effectively in its specific application, justifying the enormous cost through productivity. But only one was built because the applications requiring such extreme capability were so rare. Today, the Big Bud is a celebrity among agricultural equipment, famous for being the largest and most powerful farm tractor ever built. It tours shows and draws crowds amazed by its impossible size. The Big Bud is strange through excess that pushed tractor design beyond practical limits. Number 2. Versatile 1150. The Versatile 1150 from 1977 shocked farmers with proportions that seemed excessive even for large four-wheel drive articulated tractors. This massive Canadian-built machine featured a Cummins KTA 1150 diesel engine producing 470 horsepower, enormous power delivered through a chassis that dwarfed conventional tractors. The 1150's sheer size made it look unreal. The Cummins diesel was a legendary engine known for durability and power. The turbocharged and aftercooled motor produced strong torque across a wide operating range, allowing the 1150 to pull the largest implements available. The engine's distinctive sound, a deep diesel rumble mixed with turbocharger whine, announced the 1150's presence from miles away. Everything about the propulsion system was scaled for maximum power and reliability. The 1150's appearance was dominated by its enormous size. The massive articulated frame, huge tires measuring over 6 feet tall, and substantial operator cab created proportions that shocked farmers accustomed to conventional tractors. The bright yellow paint Versatile used made the 1150 even more visually striking. Everything about the machine screamed power and capability. Versatile positioned the 1150 for mega farms covering thousands of acres, where productivity per hour determined profitability. The massive power allowed covering enormous acreage with wide implements, dramatically reducing the time required for critical field operations. The 1150 could pull cultivators, air seeders, and other implements that would overwhelm smaller tractors. The 1150 succeeded commercially because it arrived when farms were growing rapidly and needed equipment scaled for thousands of acres. Versatile built these massive machines through the 1970s and 80s, establishing themselves as leaders in large four-wheel drive tractors. Today, 1150s are collectible because they represent the peak of pre-electronic tractor design, pure mechanical power scaled to extreme proportions. Number 1. Claas Xerion. The Claas Xerion takes the top position because of its genuinely strange rotating cab design. Claas believed that allowing the operator cab to rotate 180 degrees would revolutionize tractor versatility, letting operators face implements and providing perfect visibility during all operations. The concept was brilliant, but looked absolutely bizarre. Watching the cab rotate independently from the chassis violated every expectation about how tractors should operate. The Mercedes-Benz diesel engines produce between 400 and 500 horsepower, massive power delivered through a chassis designed to work in either direction equally effectively. The 4 equal-size wheels and sophisticated suspension allow the Xerion to operate with the cab facing forward or backward, making front and rear conceptually interchangeable. The rotating mechanism is complex and expensive, but it provides capabilities conventional tractors cannot match. The hydraulic system controlling the cab rotation is sophisticated and precise, allowing smooth movement through 180 degrees in approximately 1 minute while the tractor remains stationary, or even while moving slowly. Claas engineered the rotation system with multiple safety interlocks that prevent cab movement if conditions aren't appropriate, protecting both the operator and the mechanical systems from damage. The equal-size wheels eliminate the traditional distinction between front and rear, with each tire measuring the same diameter and width to provide identical traction and flotation, regardless of which direction the Xerion is traveling. The suspension system features hydro-pneumatic technology that maintains consistent ride height and absorbs shocks from uneven terrain, keeping the operator comfortable whether the cab faces forward or backward. The transmission is bidirectional, meaning the Xerion can achieve the same speeds and performance, traveling in either direction without any compromise in capability or efficiency. The three-point hitch systems are mounted at both ends of the chassis, allowing the Xerion to use implements on either end depending on which direction the cab is facing and what work needs to be done. The power takeoff systems are also duplicated at both ends, providing full implement power regardless of which direction the tractor is working. The fuel tank capacity exceeds 130 gallons, providing extended operating range necessary for the large-scale operations that justify investing in such sophisticated equipment. The hydraulic reservoir holds substantial volume to support the multiple hydraulic systems, including cab rotation, suspension, implement control, and steering functions. The electronic control systems monitor hundreds of parameters continuously, ensuring all systems operate within safe limits and alerting operators to any issues before they become serious problems. The cab itself features climate control, premium seating with multiple adjustments, advanced instrumentation with digital displays, and ergonomic controls that remain intuitive regardless of which direction the cab is facing. The visibility from the Xerion's cab is exceptional in all directions, thanks to large glass areas and minimal structural obstructions, giving operators clear views of their work, whether facing implements or traveling on roads. The ground clearance under the Xerion's chassis is substantial, allowing it to straddle crops or work in conditions where conventional tractors would drag their frames or bellies. The Xerion can be equipped with various tire sizes and types, depending on the primary application, from narrow high-pressure tires for road transport to wide low-pressure flotation tires for minimizing soil compaction in fields. The rotating cab transforms how operators work. During mowing or loading operations, the cab rotates, so operators face the implement, providing perfect visibility and control. During transport, the cab rotates to face the road ahead. The versatility is genuine, but watching the cab rotate while the chassis remains stationary looks genuinely strange. The movement violates expectations about fixed operator positions. The Xerion's appearance is distinctive, even when the cab isn't rotating. The four equal-size wheels, high ground clearance, and modern styling create a machine that looks different from conventional tractors. When the cab rotates, the Xerion becomes genuinely strange, a tractor that can face both directions, defying fundamental assumptions about how agricultural equipment should work. Claas refined the Xerion through multiple generations, eventually producing versions that gained market acceptance. The rotating cab proved genuinely useful for specific applications, justifying the complexity for operations needing maximum versatility. Today, Xerions work on farms worldwide, proving that genuinely strange ideas can succeed when properly executed. The Xerion represents the strangest production tractor ever built, a machine that challenges every assumption about what tractors can be. These 15 tractors prove that agricultural equipment can be as strange and wonderful as any machines humans build. From screw-propelled snow machines to tractors with rotating cabs, these machines challenged conventions and pursued unconventional solutions. Some succeeded, some failed, but all contributed to agriculture's rich history of innovation. Which of these strange machines fascinates you most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you love the weird and unusual in farming history, hit that subscribe button for more stories about the machines that dared to be different.